Well, great job by our crowd. I think our crowd came, was entertained, and then found themselves involved. Kind of rare that you go to a movie and end up having to be a part of the movie at the very end. So interactive sporting event right there, and I'm pretty proud of that. Great job by Cal Poly. They're extremely mentally tough. They're extremely well coached. They're resilient. They pounded away at us, and they tried to fracture us. And defensively, we did not fracture. To have held that football team with that Russian attack to that many points without a turnover is a testimony to mental toughness, pad level, footwork, finish, all the things we've been talking about here for 4 years. You know, offensively, we ended up kicking field goals. That wasn't scoring touchdowns, but it was enough field goals to win, and that's important. Yeah, we would have liked to have scored 56 points. We didn't, but we kicked field goals and we got it down in there close. So Zach Johnson did a nice job of banging them home when we got them in close. But credit Cal Poly's defense against our offense. But again, in the end, the mark of a quarterback is not necessarily how many yards you threw for, how many touchdown passes you threw, it's how many big games you've won. And Justin Arias has put his stamp in this program in an indelible way because he leads us on both sides of the ball as a humble, efficient, effective team leader in the ultimate team sport. So I'm proud of all of our guys, I'm proud of our seniors. I'm really proud of my coaching staff on both sides of the ball. I'm extremely happy with the way every facet and element of our team played. But again, as I started talking about just now, what a great job by the crowd. Little did they know they're all in for a letter here at the end of the season, because that's the way a home crowd has to play in the fourth quarter. Questions?
Speaking of the crowd, one of the biggest ones you've had in recent years, how exciting is it for you to be in front of big crowds in meaningful November games?
Well, I just like it when the crowd has an impact on the ball game at the end. And you know, we've had loud, noisy crowds here while we've gone on this winning streak. We haven't had numerous loud, noisy crowds, and now we have a numerous loud crowd that knows that its football team is going to play for all 60 minutes. And I couldn't be more proud of the fact that the people that have been with us were here, and their fellow citizens who wanted to occupy a seat didn't just come to sit and enjoy it. The crowd got into it there in the fourth quarter, and it buoyed our defense, and it just buoyed us tremendously.
Now you think game to game, obviously, and look at the next one, but this is kind of a historic season, obviously. How do you ever stop and think about how great this season is for you guys?
No, seriously, we don't. We don't want to reflect on 51 years of Melise, and I say that tongue in cheek. We want to reflect just on where we're at right now, because this team is in the now. And they're in the now because they knew that if they took care of things academically years ago, that we were going to have the weapons and bullets to play in November against the good teams in this conference. And mark my words, Cal Poly is as good a team. They are back-to-back wins at home against the two Montana schools. That is rare. I don't know if we can look back in Big Sky Conference history and find that since the rise of Montana in '85. So I'm extremely proud that we played against a very hard-minded, tough-minded team today, regardless of those sentences that we're always going to begin with, the last time we did what was. So again, it's a singular event. It happened on Saturday, November 8th, and guess what? Tomorrow's Sunday, November 9th, and on the horizon for us is the MSU Bobcats.
You talked about your defense and how well they played, and they were huge on fourth down. I think you guys held them to 1 for 5 on fourth down. Could you talk about that a little bit, just how big that was for you guys? Yeah, you know,
this is going to feel good for our defense. We gave up 500 yards, almost 500 yards rushing to the best rushing team in the United States, and we feel like we shut them out. And I mean, that's really how we feel. I mean, we made some mistakes, but we were disciplined. We had a really nice game plan that we started implementing on Sunday afternoon. Coaches did a wonderful job of preparing our guys. We were never bamboozled. We were never outflanked. We were never in a situation where we were wondering what the heck is going on up there. The communication of our guys was exemplary. And one of the guys who really mirrors us defensively is Tyson Manu, our junior safety. 2 years ago, he barely finished the season on the team. And I don't mean he was in danger of losing his scholarship, but he couldn't play on kick teams, and he certainly wasn't playing on defense. Now, he's an integral part, maybe the tip of the spear of how we play defense at Idaho State.
And then speaking of fourth downs, you guys were 3 for 3, pretty good on fourth downs. A couple of those plays were the fades to Mangum that ended up working out. What was the mindset there going into those calls?
You can ask Coach Don Bailey about that, because all I do is say go, and he dials it up, and he'll be talking to you in just a second.
Why did you say go on the last 4th down?
I mean, we're Idaho State. What do we got to lose? Who thought we'd be on November 8th playing for the Big Sky Conference Championship lead? Why would we punt the ball back to him? Why would we play normal? We're not playing reckless. Well, that quarterback is the best quarterback in the United States. He's the finest quarterback in the United States. He might be the finest football player in the United States. And 4th down means nothing to him. And so he's so cool and calm and smooth, and he's thrown to a wideout who was originally a walk-on, who has increased his bench press from like teaspoons to anvils. And that guy's got strong hands, and he's a hell of a matchup unless you roll coverage at him. If you roll coverage at him, we throw the ball in other spots. So it's a good 1-2 matchup for us. It's not historic. It's what we want, is a great passer, a great receiver, a great running back, a great offensive line, a great team, a great defense, and an average head coach. So, and that's what we got. See, even the mic moved. Chris,
You want to fix it real quick?
what do I got to do here, Bob? Somebody got a screwdriver? I'm gonna hold it right there and not bang it around.
There you go.
All right, there you go, buddy. Questions? Anything else?
Madison Mangum, that touchdown catch as well. Did you feel like the game was over at that point?
No, absolutely not. I didn't think the game was over with until we put victory on the field. Seriously, and I said that last week. And I wash my hair. I wash my head with a wash rag. I'm old. I've been in this conference as a fan, as a player, as an assistant coach, as a head coach for so long. The improbable finishes that this conference has had, I know them all. And so disaster lurks on every snap, or opportunity lurks at every snap, depending on your point of view. And for us, opportunity was still knocking. We considered throwing the ball deep, even in victory, because we want to score more points, not to be more score conscious. Just we're afraid of the other team getting the ball and scoring in 2 plays. So no, we weren't done until we knelt down there with 9 seconds to go.
Their Chris Brown is a pretty tough guy.
He's a very good guy, and I told Tim, right now, outside of our quarterback, he's the best player in this conference.
High praise.
Very high praise, and he's well deserved.
Talk about living in the moment. Does that mean that you haven't snuck a peek at the conference standings towards the top, or are you aware of that? Are you looking forward to that at all? It's just
we held the fort today. We're undefeated at home, and outside of that, geez. Where do we go next week? I'll have to look at my schedule to find out where we're headed, just to make sure. I thought it might be Montana State, but I'm not. I don't know.
You gave a game ball out every week. Who got the game ball this week?
Defensive staff, and they gave up 500 yards. I guarantee you that's the only defensive staff in the United States that ever got a game ball for winning a game and holding the opponent to 500 yards. But that's a tribute to our offense being able to move the ball down the field. While we didn't score points, at least we got the ball out from under the shadow of our own goalposts, and then we punted the ball so effectively today, and our coverage was just so awesome. Just so many things went into that, and yet the defense had to hold the fort on every single down, because Cal Poly has thrown for as many yards as we have passed for. In fact, they might even exceed us now in total yardage on just those 2 facets. So they can strike from anywhere, and so it's just a wonderful game by us, because we said we wanted to win the game by a half point, and it kind of feels like it was a half-point win.
That 14-0 lead, how important was that?
Nothing. It didn't mean anything. Could have been a 14-0 deficit for me. We said this thing isn't over with until somebody's kneeling down at the end. So the score was really, it is what it is. I'm not from the ocean, but it's like going to the beach, and the waves are coming, and you don't know which one's going to be the high one, the short one. I don't know. I just know that as long as they didn't get soup in the kitchen, we'd be all right.
As many rushing yards as they had, they didn't have a huge yards per carry. So is that another kind of silver lining you look at?
That's a question to ask Roger. Those are really, really good questions. The defense, I think, would be able to talk at length about what they did and how they did it. Really proud of our guys. I'm proud of the seniors we have in here today, and I'm proud of everybody associated with Idaho State University, period. Soccer team plays for the Big Sky Conference Championship tomorrow. Volleyball team's in first place. That damn ass Bengal football team can play well. I love you guys. See you.